Most people, especially main characters in books, comics, movies, video games, they all think they're doing the right thing. But you know what they say. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. So let's talk about some people who are absolutely going to hell while they follow a neat little path of the best intentions. Well, first of all, some ground rules. I'm going to be focusing on Reed Richards from 616 and 1610, better known as the Ultimate Universe. This won't be terribly comprehensive, but here we go. Reed Richards of 616, better known as Mr. Fantastic, is most famously the founding and leading member of Marvel's first family, the Fantastic Four. He grew up rich, as a child prodigy who entered Caltech at age 14. He also attended Harvard, MIT, and by the time he was 18, he had 4 degrees. Working on his 5th degree in New York, he met Victor Von Doom. They didn't work out as roommates, no idea why. So he roomed with Ben Grimm, the football star from his high school. Now you might say, wait, didn't Reed start college at 14? Was Ben the football star when Reed was like 12? If they met after Reed was 18, how old is Ben? The answer to that is 3 simple words that do a lot of heavy lifting in the research I've done. Comic books, y'all. Reed, for some reason, started renting at a boarding house during college and met, you guessed it, Susan Storm. He had to leave the boarding house because he couldn't focus on work while she was around. Wow, dude. After college, which I assumed Reed finished in less time than it took to build the Empire State Building, Reed started building a starship. Classic story. Boy gets a free ride to 5 different colleges around the world, meets a girl, builds a spaceship with his vast sums of money, and also government grants, because what self-respecting billionaire pays for anything by themselves anymore? He pulls Ben, fresh out of the Air Force, to pilot the ship. Fun fact, the government threatened to pull their funding, so Reed, Ben, Sue, and her brother Johnny stole the ship and took it for a joyride for what was supposed to be a quick trip to another star system and back, through hyperspace, which they'd never done before, in a ship that hadn't been tested. The rest is well known. Radiation storm, cosmic powers, thus begins the Fantastic Four. Reed in 1610 had a much different beginning. As a child, he showed a massive intellect, doing the stereotypical rebuilding of appliances and turning them into other things. Because how can you tell a kid is smart unless you have a VCR strewn across your living room? This often got him beaten by his father. Big mood. At age 10, he made an interdimensional teleportation machine for a science fair project, and a government agent literally bought him from his parents. He was taken to the Baxter Building, where he worked with Franklin Storm and his 2 kids, Sue and Johnny. In the program, he made a bunch of strides in interdimensional science, discovering the N Zone, his universe's take on the negative zone. But they also introduce an actual negative zone later, so whatever. He met another student in his time there named Victor Von Dam, who, despite being a talented roboticist, took it upon himself to steal Reed's notes and correct some calculations on interdimensional travel, because nobody can just be good at one thing. Time passes, science happens, they finally get to a point where they're ready to teleport an apple into the end zone. What the apple did to them, who knows? Victor, in a final move to solidify his vengeance on the apple, fucked with the coordinates and ripped open a hole in space, and they were all slurped up. This is where they got their powers. Now let's take a look at some of both of the Reed's main issues. Again, not a comprehensive list, but it's not going to be a particularly short one either. There's a lot of dirt here. I won't dig too much into this. In the early years, the 60s, it wasn't uncommon for Reed to be verbally and physically abusive to Sue. Over the years, he would do things like tell her she should be seen and not heard, call her a coward or useless when she failed at something, make some really messed up jokes, and as the designer of the suits the team wears, he's made some, interesting choices in regards to Sue's look. Ben. While half the team got mostly regular names related to their powers, Reed named himself Mr. Fantastic, while his best friend was relegated to the Thing. Also, he can make a suit that stretches as far as his body can, but he can't make more than a Speedo for Ben. Really? On one occasion where Ben, who hated his altered body and all it cost him as far as a home life, regained his natural form, he left the team. Good for him. But when his temporary replacement left and he was invited back, Reed had done something incredibly insulting. In order for the normal, human Benjamin Grimm to keep up with the team, Reed built him a robotic suit, fully enclosed like the Iron Man armor, but modeled to look exactly like the face that Ben had hated for years. The Thing. What in every fuck? Family. Dude is a terrible husband. Workaholic, uncommunicative, makes decisions for the family without asking what they need or want. He's also an awful dad, incredibly controlling, injects his kids with nanomachine trackers so he knows every move they make. He even uses them to control where they can and can't go. When Franklin was a baby, he made him brain dead for a while. You can imagine how much he consulted the kid's mom for any of these events. The answer is 0 of them. None. The Illuminati, the Council of Reeds, the Fantastic Four, the Children of Tomorrow. All groups he started, and all with the intent to make the world, and in some cases the entire universe, better the way he thought it should be better. One of those decisions was the Council lobotomizing Dr. Dooms from across the multiverse and keeping them in a space under the Council chambers called simply the Hole. Yikes on bikes. To be honest, if I were the Celestials, I would have fucked that place up like Interstellar Geneva with anger issues too. That's right, fascism, everyone's favorite. Reed was pro-reg, being one of the first to support it alongside Tony Stark. He's crucial in developing a prison in the negative zone named 42 because it's number 42 on Stark's list of things to improve the world with. Let's let that sink in. Tony Stark has a list of improvements to the world, and it includes a prison in a universe made of antimatter that drains the life of people who go there. During Civil War, there were a lot of people being held there without trial and being denied counsel. That's... holy shit. Get the tandem bikes out because there are not enough seats for all these yikes. The maker is Reed from 1610, Ultimate Reed Richards. The maker is a real piece of work. After some shit that happened with Magneto, Sue's dad dies, and Reed's incredibly poorly timed marriage proposal is rejected. He goes to live with his parents. Remember them? Yeah. Anyway, he fakes his death, joins up with Kang, they start attacking S.H.I.E.L.D., and he gets his ass kicked. Johnny Storm burns off part of his face, and his arm was completely ruined. A bit much, but I get it. He goes on to create a dome city in Germany to house the Children of Tomorrow called, wait for it, the Dome, run by an AI called City. Guess he lost part of his brain along with the face. He uses an antimatter attack to basically wipe out all of Capitol Hill. The only fun part about him is that he used his stretchy boy powers to make his skull bigger, so his brain could be bigger and therefore he could be smarter? I don't... That's not how this works, man, but, you know, comic books, y'all. I could go forever on him. He's been dubbed one of Marvel's most dangerous villains. And while the Maker is proper evil, basically every version of Richards is evil to some degree. You're welcome to argue with me in the comments, but just so you know, I don't have the entire library of Fantastic Four comics to run with. This is just a quick and very dirty look at Reed Richards. Hey, if you like this and you want to see some more content, get episodes early, see the scripts, and get behind the scenes pictures and footage, mostly of my cats, then check out the Patreon listed in the description. We put a lot of time and effort into these, and it really helps us out. Here's a picture of my cat in a radar dish, if that helps.